Today we're going to be talking about GameStop and Bitcoin. What in the world could a traditional stock have in common with something like Bitcoin? It's not so much that the stock itself, the instrument, has anything to do with Bitcoin as a different sort of a financial instrument altogether, but I think it's summed up pretty well. I saw this news story. I was shocked to see this news story in one respect, but in the second respect, I wasn't, because the gentleman is obviously very much emotionally biased, as I like to say, or investor biased or confirmation biased, whatever you want to call it. He was very much biased towards his viewpoint. But here's a news story. We'll cover part of it. It's Anthony Scaramucci. Anthony Scaramucci says the recent GameStop saga highlights a positive backdrop for Bitcoin. This is very interesting, and I'm going to cover this news story. Then I'm going to break it down a little bit further and show you why what he's saying is, I believe, has a lot of weight. What he says is very, very truthful about the future of cryptocurrency. You see, I think what we see happening right now, I think makes a much bigger point than in my previous video. When I did a previous video on GameStop, I was really talking a little bit about what's going on, and I was talking about being careful about the price. I mean, in fact, since that video a couple hours ago when I recorded it, I mean, we're already down. I think we're at 360 there, so they're around $60. This is the 1 month chart. What's the 5-day chart like? Ugh. So yeah, we're getting ready to see. There's a good chance we see a huge pullback. Look, volume's dropping as well. We could see a huge sharp pullback. I just hope those young people that are buying up GameStop don't get crushed. Oh, some of them are, unfortunately, but that's okay. My last video was kind of about what to do in this situation from my traditional investing background. But what's really interesting is what's caused this saga. And I think this has a lot to do about Bitcoin and the future of Bitcoin and why Bitcoin survives, even against the government's attempts to co-opt the movement. I'll talk about the government's attempts in a moment, and I'll kind of summarize that. Because listen, if you're paying attention to my channel right now, I want you to know something. You are becoming aware of things. When I understand economics, I try to bring it to you in the simplest form possible, in the easy to understand. I read through documents and read through news stories and read through what's going on, and I try to bring it to you in a way that's not too weighty, but I try to bring you my analysis the way that I understand it as an amateur economist who's very interested in where the world's headed right now with this great reset, interestingly, a move towards centralization while appearing to be more decentralized. Bear with me. I promise you I'll get to that in a moment, and I'll explain that in more detail. I'm not trying to tease you. I'm just going to explain it out in more detail. So let's take a look at what Scaramucci says. The activity in GameStop is more proof of concept that Bitcoin is going to work, he told Bloomberg. Scaramucci's Skybridge has exposure to Bitcoin of about 385 million. So, of course, he's very much biased. He probably, I don't know this, but he probably called Bloomberg and personally talked to someone and told them his thoughts on this so they could write a story, because he wanted to prop up the Bitcoin price because the price has been pulling back a little bit. The Skybridge Capital co-founder Anthony Scaramucci argues that retail traders' victory against short sellers in the GameStop battle is a positive for Bitcoin. Scaramucci told Bloomberg in an interview that the impact of small retail trading groups showed the power of decentralized finance. Again, the impact of small retail trading groups, and you could even say small retail individuals, showed the power of decentralized finance. Now, he's not saying that GameStop is decentralized. He's saying the movement shows a little bit of an example or some influence of decentralized movement. The very concept that underpins Bitcoin. Money management, once perceived as limited to a concentrated group of highly paid advisors, is being democratized through smartphones and low-cost online trading, Scaramucci says. The activity in GameStop is more proof of concept that Bitcoin is going to work, he said. How are you going to beat the decentralized crowd? That, to me, is more information about decentralized finance. Reddit traders have feasted on GameStop's rapid rise in price after their online posts urge others to join the trade, which has driven up the value of the video game retailer shares by about 600% in just 10 trading days. That caused short sellers to lose a record $5 billion betting against the stock this year, according to data from S3 Partners. Barron's reported the U.S. security regulators suggested that there was something systemically wrong with the options trading surrounding GameStop stock. Listen to that. It's the age of the micro investor, and that you better take it seriously. Otherwise, you're going to get taken to the cleaners, Scaramucci said. Listen, they're saying there's something systemic. The U.S. security regulators, the same one that try to regulate cryptocurrency, and they're trying to tell XRP, the same type of regulators are trying to say that XRP, how they're a stock, they're not a cryptocurrency, et cetera, et cetera. These regulators are saying there's something systemically wrong. Do you know what's wrong? What's wrong is the individuals are choosing to speak. What's wrong is decentralization. Decentralization meaning not controlled by one authority. When he says right here, and I think this is traditional finance pretty much summed up in a big way. When he says that money management, once perceived as limited to a concentrated group of highly paid advisors, is being democratized through smartphones and low-cost online trading. Meaning, in years past, heck, 30 years ago, it wasn't easy to open up a stock brokerage account, and stock trades would be like, $20, $30 plus dollars. Back then, 20-something dollars for a stock trade, $50 for a stock trade. And now you can get unlimited trades and $7 trades and low-cost trades, and there's all sorts of brokers out there, everything from full service to mom and pop to Robinhood apps, where anyone can get access to the financial markets, and they're showing how big tech is losing grip. Now, with that being said, I think he makes a great point here, and I'm not saying that Scaramucci, at the end of the day, I don't know that he's a decentralized type guy. He just happens to have a really big investment on decentralization right now. I mean, he is from old money finance, meaning he does operate in that old money space. So let's not think for a moment, unless we see more proof, or we see him coming out saying more things about pro-decentralization. Just because he's an investor, he can always be an investor of opportunity, and that exists everywhere in cryptocurrency. Did you hear what I just said? He could be an investor in opportunity, not an investor in principle. There's two different things. I like to personally think that I'm an investor in principle first, opportunity second. But some people are investors of opportunity at all costs, the heck with anything else. And I can appreciate that. But you got to understand the source. You got to consider the source when you read this type of stuff. Now, I like what he's saying, and I think he makes some points that there's an interesting parallel here with decentralization. However, keep in mind, at the end of the day, traditional finance is going to try to keep power centralized. Old money, legacy money is going to try to win. Don't think for a moment they're not going to. Don't think for a moment they're not going to succeed. Now, I believe long term they'll lose, but that is my biased beliefs. But most people think that, it's out with the old, it's in with the new. No. The old knows how to shift to look like the new. For example, I did a video talking about Fedcoin. Fedcoin is a cryptocurrency based on a blockchain. The difference is it's a private, centralized blockchain, not a public blockchain. I'll put this video above. I'll link it in the description. Most people are not familiar with Fedcoin. They don't realize that it's actually probably going to get released this year, 2021. Fedcoin will probably come out before Ethereum 2.0 comes out. I think that is unfortunate. That makes me nervous. Fedcoin is going to be here very, very soon. In fact, you can save this video, you can bookmark it, you can take it to the bank. I truly believe that Fedcoin will launch inside of 2021. No questions asked. It's part of this big great reset that's going on. The big great reset. And if you want to know more about what the great reset is, it is real. It has been proposed by the World Economics Forum. I'll do some videos about it if there's an interest in it. So let me know in the comments if that's something you want to hear about. But at the end of the day, centralization is coming. It comes like this. Let me give you a stimulus check. Let me pay off your student loans. Let me pay off your mortgage. Let me pay off your credit cards. And at the end of the day, a system that does that, people will accept. And by the time they realize that they don't like the system, they're already going to be stuck inside of a centralized system. Let me pay off your mortgage, but hey, you need to take payment in Fedcoin. Let me pay off your credit cards, but hey, you need to take payment in Fedcoin. Not realizing that you're opting into a system that you can't easily opt out of. And that's where centralization, that's basically act one. That's battle one. And I believe when that battle gets waged, I was hoping decentralized finance, decentralized cryptocurrency would beat that act, would win the first round. But I think centralized cryptocurrency might actually get here first and might actually win the first round, unfortunately. Now, I could go on in details, but YouTube would probably censor me if I keep going down that road. So I'll stop there for now. But I'll say this. I'll say this. I think Act 2, I think this GameStop thing is Act 2 or Battle 2, however you want to say it. That's where the people ultimately do rise up, because the truth is the Bitcoin technology can be made difficult to use. The government can say, hey, in order to buy it or to own it or to invest in it, you have to be an accredited investor. They can say that, but it's extraordinarily difficult to enforce it. And today I would not recommend that someone break the law if it was against the law. But when people choose to rise up, they're not going to care about the laws. At some point, when people understand what negative interest rates are to your bank account and understand that that's a real possibility to Fedcoin, when people understand that you can be compelled to pay your taxes in the amount and in the time they say so through simple blockchain analysis, and they simply collect your taxes. Have you not seen a deflationary coin or a rebasing coin? Have you not seen that in action? Rebasing is a great example of what negative taxation could look like. A negative rebase is negative taxation. That could occur. I don't think it's going to occur right away, but it could potentially occur with something like a Fedcoin or whatever global coin comes out. Don't think that that's not in the works as well. It's just a little further down the road. However, decentralized cryptocurrency is still available. People can still choose to transact in it. And what we're seeing here, and Bitcoin, of course, is the mother of all decentralized cryptocurrencies at this very moment. Decentralized meaning no one individual owns it or controls it. We could debate the miner situation another time. But when you look at, for example, what Scaramucci is saying right here with GameStop, traditional finance tried to short GameStop. Old legacy financial advisors and investment bankers tried to short GameStop. But the will of the people coming together, choosing to disagree and vote with their dollars, literally won that battle in the short term. In the long term, this price is going to collapse. No question. It's going to go back to under $50, probably in the next 7 days or less. That's my prediction. But just the fact that for the first time in a long time, and not too many times in history, has the average individual investor been able to, at least temporarily, be old school money in their own game in this sort of a way. Because make no mistake about it, this was interesting. This was Reddit post. This was social media pushing the price up, telling people to buy, telling people to buy, telling people to buy. Yet old legacy finance was responsible, for putting, news stories in the financial newspapers like they always do. People act like shilling is a new thing. Shillings always occurred. You just didn't know it. You thought when you saw that guy on CNN, that CNN reached out to him. You didn't realize that, no, it was a PR firm that he hired to get him on CNN so he could talk about his company. He could talk about his favorite stock. That's what it was. It just looked like hard financial news. See, ladies and gentlemen, the whole world's a stage. And this right here is just proven that the individuals can win when they're empowered. You're empowered. Cryptocurrency empowers you. It empowers your finances. And that's why I believe decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out.